morning, everyone. My name is Emma Jane White, and I'm a senior at Bradley Central High School, and I'll be sharing my testimony with all of you. Starts off probably a lot like some of yours. I grew up in church, and I got saved at a really young age. First time I heard the gospel, I was 5 years old at K. McDaniel's tennis camp, and I got saved on the Lee University tennis courts. I know I was really young, but I believed in Jesus with my whole heart. As middle school started, life got really hard. I don't think anyone really has a good middle school experience. It can be a struggle to get through. I went into it with high hopes and a very sheltered way of thinking. In 6th grade, I got bullied by a girl I grew up with, by someone I thought I could trust. It was over silly things, like I wasn't in an honors math class, and apparently that means I'm going to fail in life. But as a kid, that was hard, and it hurt to deal with like on a daily basis. Then 7th grade started, and life got better. I made some new friends, and things seemed to be going good. But then I got sick. My body began shutting down, and I missed the last 3 months of school. I slept probably 22 hours a day because I physically could not function. I don't remember much from those 3 months, but I do remember wondering if I was ever going to get better. My mom told me she'd have to fight to wake me up, and she'd have to hold me just to feed me. I was diagnosed with severe anemia, or an iron deficiency, which typically is not as severe as what I went through, but my illness caused me to completely shut down. As time went on, I began to get better, and I checked my phone, only to find that I had no missed calls and no unanswered text. Not one of those people that I thought were my friends had bothered to check in on me. So, I started 8th grade with no friends and no one to talk to. I've come to find that the devil strikes hardest when you're isolated, and that's exactly what happened to me. He started feeding me lies, like I was worthless, that no one cared about me, that no one would even notice if I was gone. The sad thing is I was so severely depressed, I just believed every single lie. And I had become convinced that even my own parents wouldn't miss me. One particular day, I was exhausted and weighed down from the constant negative thoughts. I felt absolutely defeated. I locked myself in my bathroom, and I remember the overwhelming feeling of just wishing I was dead. As I brought a blade to my wrist, I remember hearing this voice, clear as day, saying, "Stop. You don't want to do this." God speaks to us all differently, but that day for me, it was a clear, audible voice. I believe he spoke to me this way because I just needed to hear someone, anyone, to tell me to stop. Afterwards, I heard my little sister laughing downstairs, and I realized that of all the people I made excuses for, she was the only one. So that day, I decided if I couldn't live for myself, I was going to live for my little sister. After my encounter with the Lord, I should have followed him wholeheartedly. But I was so stubborn back then. I thought I could do it on my own. So I spent most of my high school years severely depressed. At the time, I didn't realize why I felt the way I did or why God had allowed those things to happen to me. If you will, turn to Matthew 26, 69 through 72 with me. It says, "Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. 'You also were with Jesus of Galilee,' she said. But he denied it before them all. 'I don't know what you're talking about,' he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, 'This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth.' He denied it again with an oath, 'I don't know the man.'" Peter walked with Jesus. He had a relationship with Jesus. But when things got hard, Peter denied Jesus. He tried doing things his way. He took things into his own hands. Have you all ever done something like this? I certainly have. When things got hard for me, I tried to fix it myself instead of surrendering my hardships at the foot of the cross. I was still a child and did not understand how to lean on Jesus instead of my own understanding. Like Peter, I said no to God's plan for me and denied him in my life. At Camp Cherokee, 2021, my life was changed. I finally understood what it meant to lay my burdens down and let God break my chains instead of continuing to try to do it on my own. I surrendered the weight I had been carrying for so long. Jesus came back to Peter to restore him, and he did the same for me. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but he still came back. Your burdens, your struggles, and your sin is never too much for our Jesus. He will come back to you if you are willing to surrender your burdens to him. Thank you.